So usually CBD products have less than the legal limit of THC in them, so they're safe for consumption even by a child. And that's why one of the reasons they're so popular these days is because of the safety of consumption of them. And they do have several beneficial health benefits. They help relieve anxiety. They help relieve stress.
Businesses that are selling CBD are asking the FDA to start regulating the industry a little bit more. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, host of Talented People Radio, produced by Mariah Media. Our show is fun, and we specialize on interviewing some of the most awesome people from around the world. Tune in and watch our live stream on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch past episodes. Talented People airs every Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Join us for some fun.
Are you looking to get your message in front of a qualified audience through all the noise out there today? Consider taking an advertisement out on Hunterdon Chamber Radio, WHCR DB, the voice of business. Contact the Chamber today at 908-782-7115 or give us an email at info@hunterdon-chamber.org.
Good afternoon. This is Talented People Radio. Hope you're having a great day. I'm Jeanne Murphy, going to give you an update on the weather if you happen to be in the area. Let's just see. Slight chance of snow and sleet before 11 p.m. tonight, then a chance of sleet between 11 and 2. Slight chance of snow after that until 2 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 27. Thursday's going to be mostly sunny all day with a high of 40. Chance of snow after 2 a.m. on Thursday night, increasing clouds with a low around 26. On Friday, a chance of snow mainly before 8 a.m., mostly cloudy with a high near 40. And then the same on Friday night, pretty much chance of rain between 8 and 2, and then a chance of snow after 2 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 30. Saturday, chance of snow continuing before 8 a.m., then rain likely all day, mostly cloudy with a high of 43. And then chance of rain or snow on Sunday before 8 a.m., partly sunny with a high of 40. So this is Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy. Thanks so much for watching in. Hope you're having a nice day. I'm happy to introduce my guests today. They're from Safari Solutions. We have the Vice President of Sales. His name's Scott Kushel. And then we also have John Etters. Etiers, who's our representative here from the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce Connects Group with Safari Solutions. And I don't know your official title.
I'm an account executive.
Pull that up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm an account executive. Yep.
Great. All right. Well, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So why don't we start off by first telling everybody a little bit about what is Safari Solutions, and then I'll want you guys to introduce yourselves a little bit better.
Sure, happy to do so. So Safari Solutions, we are a technology company headquartered up in Riverdale, New Jersey. We provide technology solutions throughout the state of New Jersey for companies headquartered in this area. Our go-to-market strategy is pretty unique in this industry, where we've created a program to help companies not just look at technology in a way of confusion and what's the best solution, but really act as an advisor for the clients that we work with. We've been doing this in this manner for about 2 years now, and have developed some great relationships with customers throughout the area, and are using this kind of a technique to, like I said, really help companies look at all the areas of technology, which could be for their phones, it could be for internet connectivity, it could look for the networking within their organization, but bringing all the pieces together in one solution and have one provider that can help in all areas. We kind of like to say one back to pat when everything has to come together.
Mm-hmm. And then, Jonathan, you being a past business owner, tell us about your experiences and why you understand and just wrap your arms around this whole business at Safari Solutions, which I can tell you a lot of people out there are sitting in your shoes from the past.
Yeah, so I've had my own business for over 20 years, and when I approached Safari and understood their business methodology, I really could appreciate the value they added as far as the advisor program, because having an organization like I had with 100 employees, I had professional resources in an attorney, I had my CPA, I had my insurance agent, I had my IT staff, I had outsourced IT, I had GPS, I had all the accoutrement for technology, but I never had an advisor that could kind of fill in the gaps, have a forward-looking strategy, see where we were. It was very piecemeal, and so in other aspects of the business, I had strategy, but I didn't have any strategy on the tech side. So seeing what the value that Safari brings in that regard, really getting their arms around what's going on now and where we want to head down in the future, it's an invaluable resource for someone who has to make those types of decisions, especially when you're competing against other people in your field. You want to have that competitive edge. And right now, technology changes so often that that's where you get the competitive edge.
I don't even know how anybody can have time because, my company says, you focus on your passion, we'll focus on you, being public relations, right? But for you guys to be able to take over, because a small business, you're talking 100 employees and there's so much chaos going on, but you still have your own business to attend to. So you have to be having someone else come in, and especially I'm curious as to how do you guys stay ahead of everything since everything's moving so fast and changing?
That's a great question. For our staff, we have about 75 people that work at the organization, and we have a team of people who part of their responsibility is to stay up to date with the technologies that are coming about. So we have a constant training, constant education from the partners that we work with. And you're right, it's changing almost minute by minute at this point, where you think you understand everything that's happening, and then 15 minutes later, something new comes down the education wormhole, and you have to kind of absorb it and put that together. But a lot of what we do, it's a hands-on piece of it as well. We do a lot of white glove service for our customers as well. So just because a product says it's going to perform in such a certain way, we learn a tremendous amount just by all the implementations that we do. And we're constantly have a team out there who are installing, whether it's security appliances, whether it's a network solution, whatever it might be. And we learn from that as well. And also from the clients that we work with. Everybody has very unique needs and what they're looking to accomplish. So we have to really understand what their requirements are, what their goals are. You brought up a great point about time, and that's something that nobody can make any more of it. It's just, it is what it is. So a lot of companies are looking for somebody who can take a lot of this gobbledygook that's out there, but really make it so, okay, we take the time to understand where are your goals for the next 5 years? How do you want to grow your business? How do you want to expand as an organization? What pitfalls do you have? You have people on the road. You have people internally. You're trying to understand your market. When you do a campaign, either through email or on the web or social media, how is it working? What kind of response rates are? There are programs out there to do that, and we're really helping companies understand how to grab that technology and use it as a tool, not just a piece of equipment that you throw on the table. Here it is, and you hope it works.
I can imagine. I love what you said about the fact that you have so many different clients that while you are assisting each of them and learning what they need, you can use those and apply that to your other clients and back and forth because it was your specialty, right?
Right.
And you look like you have something to say there, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, it's precisely right, because you learn about other people's businesses and then you're able to share that, and tools that are successful and even in most cases tools that aren't successful. We've all bought something that we thought was going to be what we wanted in our life and then turned out it wasn't. And so maybe it was the salesperson that was pushing that particular product on you that you invested in and turned out, well, he sold it to you and now he's gone. That's not how Safari works at all. So we're vendor agnostic, so we're looking for the best solution for the customer. So ultimately we're there to support it, and we're there to find out what the best solution is and not push a particular product.
Okay, well, we're going to go to our first break real quick. This is Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy. I hope you're having a nice day. And my guests, again, are from Safari Solutions, both Jonathan and Scott. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, host of Talented People Radio, produced by Mariah Media. Our show is fun, and we specialize on interviewing some of the most awesome people from around the world. Tune in and watch our live stream on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch past episodes. Talented People airs every Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Join us for some fun.
You're listening to WHCR-DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Are you struggling to find the right person to stay in that critical role in your company? Trying to attract and retain millennials? Retail Personnel is your staffing solution. Located in Lebanon, New Jersey, Regional Personnel is an ASA certified, privately held staffing and recruiting firm providing you with everything from temporary to permanent employees. As ASA certified professionals, we employ the latest tools and techniques to find, screen, and present to you the best talent that fits your needs. The result? Access to top talent in the shortest time with the lowest chance of turnover. We guarantee it. So call Regional today at 908-534-8113 or visit us on the web at regionalpersonnel.com.
This is Tony Clark, paraplanner at Patton Heidi & Associates. Americans believe they should be in charge of their own future, how they will live tomorrow. Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms, when they want, where they want, doing what they want. Today, Patton Heidi & Associates, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., remains true to the vision of always putting clients first. We are ready to help you put a confident retirement more within reach. Put the strength of a leader in retirement planning to work for you through a personal one-to-one relationship. Patton Heidi & Associates will work with you to develop a plan to help you pursue your retirement goals. Call today at 908-713-6600. Office is located at 1318 Route 31 North, Annandale, New Jersey. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor, Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
Everybody over there, get on up. Everybody right there, get into it. Everybody right there, get involved. Everybody get.
Did you know the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce has over 20 active committees that you can participate in? Committees range from focus on business and government to economic development to events like our annual Business Expo. Contact the Chamber for more information today at 908-782-7115 or email us at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. The Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
All right, we're back here at Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy, and my guests are from Safari Solutions, and they're talking about what it's like to be kind of at the top of the IT ladder, working for companies, putting everything together, small, medium, large. My guests, again, are Scott and Jonathan, and why don't you give a little recap to what we were talking about at the beginning, and then also I want to hear some of your stories of success and failure.
Failures? What failures?
Those that didn't use your services.
Oh, those failures, sure. So again, Safari Solutions, our role and responsibility for for the companies we work with is to become their advisor and really help them, again, look at technology in many different fields and bring great solutions to them in a way that we're sure they're not familiar with in the past. I mean, they haven't experienced this from other organizations. We're not out there trying to sell a single product like Jonathan was saying before. We have hundreds of products under our belt, and our goal and responsibility for our customers is to always find the best 1, 2, or 3 solutions and help understand what they do and how they work and help deliver that to the customer as well. And again, an important piece of that is we don't deliver it and then run away. Our white glove support is there to help implement, manage it, and then be a support mechanism moving forward as well. So if somebody has a problem, we're typically the first line of defense for them to call, whatever an issue may or may not be. And we cover several areas. So one of the stories of a customer success story was we had a client, about 50 employees, who was moving from Hoboken to Jersey City. And we typically, for a move, we usually like to have about 3 months worth of time to plan everything, make sure all the infrastructure is set correctly, make sure we understand the requirements, all the things that are needed. And we had the 3 months. And was coming down to the wire when the move was going to happen, but about 6 weeks before they're supposed to move, they lost their lease. No big deal. It happens. You're in real estate. It happens all the time, commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Somebody came in and paid more.
Right.
So they scrambled to find new space because guess what? They were getting thrown out of where they were living. So it became a whole situation. So we got the phone call, and they said, we have 30 days to move into the new space that we found. So in that 30 days, we had to take care of their entire infrastructure. That's wiring, cabling, data switches, network design plan. We had to get internet connectivity delivered from not 1 but 2 providers because of their business model required it as their structure was very heavily internet-based. And then we had to get a phone system and Wi-Fi and the network completely up and running, and we had 30, not business days, calendar days. Told the client, be prepared to have major problems because I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. It's just a lot of things that have to happen in that 30-day period. We used every resource that we had with the carriers because we work with them on a regular basis to let them understand what the situation was. So we're able to use all the expedite requirements that were needed, and we did it as quickly as possible. We were able to we put more people on it to make sure that the design and planning of it was all done in the proper way. And we just shrunk everything down, the time frames down as much as humanly possible. And the client was great to work with as well. They know they put us into a pretty tight corner as well. So they were very flexible to work with us. And that's when the relationship works that way, it's amazing how well things can go. When they look at us as a vendor or just somebody who's trying to take money from them, that's when things can get a little sideways at times, but that's never the way we want to be looked at. So the bottom line of this, the day of the move, they got into their space. Everybody had a phone at their desk. Everybody had internet connectivity. Everybody had their computers up and running. Everything was working from the minute they walked in the door. So that's a situation where we were putting in a ridiculous time crunch to get everything done, and we were able to deliver across the board on every aspect of what they needed to move in.
I think when people hear the word IT, like anybody who's out there, we all know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We know that. But we also get kind of intimidated, like even like you were talking about being the business owner, certain people out there listening know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm thinking of it like when you explained that you're kind of like a wedding planner in a certain way. I'm also putting the application just to make it easy on you guys listening, because I know that if I say it like this, maybe you'll get it as well. Like my husband is a procurement person, right? So in manufacturing, you could just picture it. They've got like the ketchup bottle, and they've got to have the label and the ketchup bottle and the dye and the ISBN and all these things that go together just for that one product to be done. But when you get into Glinch, it's the person who knows the dye people. It's the person who knows the ketchup, all the products, the plastics and resins and stuff. So in your field, you have all these partners that you work with that you got it done in 30 days because you know who to go to. They know your company. They respect you. You have other clients that you're working with these people to go back and forth. I think that's awesome. And I think something about the word IT is scary.
Yeah, I agree with you. And because it's ever changing.
And it sounds really expensive.
Yeah, it does. And we've in our lifetime, we've seen it change. So it's something that's constantly changing. Maybe not that we grew up with per se, but what's the next thing out there? And as human beings, we tend to want to just get something once and stay with it and not change. But it's ever changing, and it has to change. I was just telling someone in the organization my first real computer, 386. I was like, who needs anything faster than this?
That's so funny.
This is crazy. But what the specialty that we bring to the table is really the deep bench of professionals who have been around the block. And one of the aspects that we handle is the event side, which I like to talk about a bit because it's a little more glamorous. But
it's fun.
But it shows you the acumen and the talent that we possess. So Safari does all the USGA and PGA golf tour throughout the United States. So what does that mean? It means that you show up at a bare grounds and you wire that thing to make it go. And on broadcast day, it needs to go because that's when the money's made. So imagine everything from the ATM, the security system, to the broadcast needs to be set up and then torn down. So you have to be on the cutting edge to be able to handle the volume of people, the weather aspects. I mean, there's so many variables.
We want to know what happens when the ball lands.
That's it.
You have to be able to see it that second.
And if you've been watching golf through the years, you see how all that stuff has changed.
Yeah.
The ball tracking and on the green and all the technology is constantly changing because they want to grab the customer and watch the show. So they say, hey guys, here's a new thing. We want you to. Can we do this? And that's what we're part of. So you take that brain trust and that acumen, you bring it inside a building, and it can really do wonders for an organization that wants to be on their game. We also do the Reddington Balloon Festival, so it's a little bit close to my heart because it's one of my favorite things that happens around town, every year. So when I heard that, I said, oh, that's awesome. Great thing to talk about local.
Yeah, local. Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce. This is talented people, and we are big supporters of the Balloon Festival. Unity Bank, I have to call them out. They always do everything with the county. So anyway, all right, well, that's, okay, so we were talking about, I think it's so interesting. So what about when you bring that, like you say, into a company? Like, tell me about the benefits, like, that you could take off a company's plate in a story.
So he can talk to a specific story, but I would just wanted to say that the approach is really, the advisor approach is really, it's very laid back. So we try to remove the vendor-customer relationship. Shouldn't be adversarial. We should be in a room. We should have a conversation about what the customer's needs are, what issues maybe they have that are going. Maybe it's not the word issue. Maybe it's an initiative that they wanted to implement and they're just having difficulty. Maybe they don't have enough staff. Maybe the staff is overwhelmed. I mean, one thing's for sure. You meet the IT guys, they're always running around. They're always busy. They have a plan on Monday morning. They hit the ground running and everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the most important part of my job is to engage with the customer and just have a conversation about what it is, where they want to be, what issues they're dealing with. And then I look internally and I say, look, what resources do I have that I could bring to bear? And it's the old way of doing business, which doesn't seem to be as popular anymore, right? It's more one and done, move on. And we want to build a long relationship with the customer, because when the customer grows, and Scott can share an example of somebody that we started out with one building and now they're growing and acquiring, and that's the best thing, because then they rely on you and they say, okay, we know you guys are going to do this. We're picking up a new building. We need you to outfit it, and here's our concerns, and here's where we're going. So you can speak to a specific, but really that's ultimately is just engaging on that level to realize we're on the same team. Mm-hmm. We're on the same side of the bench, and we're negotiating on your behalf. And one of the things that we talk about is transparency, right? It's kind of a word that gets bandied about and a buzzword, but in reality, that's a hallmark of what we offer. It's transparency. The customer gets to see what it is the costs are, what it is we make. It's just the best. And here are your solutions that we've found for you, or that we're advocating for, that we think you would work for you. And here's the one that we're saying works best. And by the way, it's not the one where we're making the most money.
Well, I was going to say, I would bet that your services and the costs of your services are probably sometimes offset by solutions that you bring in, just because they don't know the difference, right? There's got to be like some of the relationships that you have, especially because a lot of people don't know, and it's not our area of expertise. That's the problem.
Right, it's true. I mean, the whole point of bringing these solutions to bear is to create efficiencies, to cut costs, to lower overhead, to increase profitability, right? Otherwise, if we're just coming there and adding costs, then what's the value?
Exactly. No, I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, with our advisor.
It's being attacked.
Yeah. With our advisor program, a lot of times, to give you an idea, if you're a 100-person, you have 100 people that work at your organization, our fee, when people hear it, they're going to be like, well, it doesn't seem like a lot. It's $995 a month.
What?
$995 a month.
That's a good deal.
If you act today.
Okay.
And with that, we'll do a one-time assessment. We charge a small fee for that. And that assessment, when we do this, when we look at all your carrier services bills, what you're paying for, what that all is, and define it out, because everybody who gets a phone bill, they know exactly what it is and what they're paying for. Touch of sarcasm there. It's a little, it's a little hard to read.
On purpose.
On purpose. So like so a lot of times when we just go in there and understand that foundation of what they have and look for inefficiencies, that alone will pay for our services.
I bet.
For there. Once we do then a program where we'll charge the end user for any equipment that they buy, we just charge it our cost plus 5%. That's all it is. And we'll show it to you. We'll show what our cost structure is, and people say, we love it. Can you get us a quote? Oh, no, I can't get you a quote, but I'll show you what our cost is. You mark it up to 5 points, pay for some shipping, and we call it a day. Now, we use our professional services to implement, but what this does, it takes on all those barriers of this person across me is just trying to sell me something new.
Right.
We're just trying to bring a solution in that makes a lot of sense. So we'll work with school districts, we work with retail organizations, hospitals, colleges, universities, townships, manufacturing companies. We have a pretty broad scope of companies that we work with. For a major retailer, the program worked really well in this scenario where just by going through all their invoicing and everything that they had, rebuilding and retooling every site with how they're going to deliver phone solutions and product into there, they've saved so much money. We're years ahead of what they're paying for the advisor program. And we're there on a quarterly basis, quarterly business reviews. What's new? Because everything changes. Every company has evolution and growth. For the companies that see it and understand it, and it's an eye-opening experience for them, and the relationship is there and they understand it, it works really, really well. Some companies don't see it, and that's, we've watched those go in really odd ways.
Yeah, I understand. So what about, like, $995 a month for your services? Is that, and so if someone, plus a consultation, is that what you're saying? That you come in and give a company, what size company is the smallest that you would work with?
Typically, we work with everybody. I never like to say you're too small for us to work with, or you're too big for us to work with. But the companies were typically where we could have the most impact, 50 to 500 people in the company, and the scale for the cost for that goes up based on the size. I used 100 employees as an example. It can go up a little bit from there, our monthly cost for that. But we work with companies that have 5,000 employees. We have companies that have 10 employees. It is kind of neat. We have a couple of our clients where they went from a 9-person office, and we have one today. It started with 9 people 12 years ago, and the relationship was built there on trust and commitment and everything that we do. And they moved from 9 people, and they went to 20, 30, bought a building, 100 people in the building.
Wow.
And now they have 17 locations in the United States and about 2,000 employees.
Nice.
So it's really kind of cool to be a part of an organization and watch them continue to grow. And they've been a client of ours for now 12 years. And we were there pretty much every step of the way, watching them go through this growth, and we've been that technology arm for them. And they rely on us for a lot of the services I'm talking about right now. We help bring all the pieces together. And a lot of companies we go to work with initially, we're not there to tear anything out or displace people or replace companies that they're currently doing business with. A lot of times it's just better communication and filling in gaps with what company A is doing with company B, where there might be a silo in place right now for whatever reason.
I'm just thinking about it because I'm like in my own house, and I'm not even talking about in the business world, smart cities and all this stuff you're talking about, you know, the municipalities and stuff. I'm like just going back to the bill you were talking about with the phone. I think I have overlap that I pay for that I don't use at all between my phone, my cable, my internet. Like I have all these bills, and it's like I really don't even need all of this stuff. So I'm just picturing how much you guys must have to get into with that many people and employees and all the different technologies.
Yeah, and again, it's having the deep bench of people that we have resources. So we have just a team that does that.
Yeah.
And they have the expertise to read.
Wow.
And I was in a networking group, and I held up a piece of paper that said something in Klingon, and I said, well, what's the difference between this and the phone bill? I held the phone bill. Well, it's because you have special knowledge of what it says, right? Can you read Klingon? I can't. But you look at that phone bill as an example, and you need someone with special knowledge to figure that out.
Right.
And so that's what we bring. And if we came upon something that we didn't have anyone on our team, we could get the resources. You know, you see this, a lot of conversation, like something like Angie's List. People are looking for resources where they can have a trusted advisor, where they can rely on and say, okay, this person has vetted so-and-so, or this person has experience with so-and-so. And so that's really what we offer in that deep bench of knowledge and experience and vendor relationships.
Tell us a little bit about some of the work like in a school system or like you were talking about a town that you guys have had clients with. What do you do for them? How does that work?
So one of the recent school systems we work with, they have, it's obviously K through 12.
Okay.
So they have several elementary schools. They have 2 middle schools and a high school. And our initial engagement with them was to be their advisor and do an assessment of all the phone lines that they have, all the services that they're paying for, and all that's coming into the facility. From that alone, and sending the technician out there, what's working, what's not working. They're getting multiple bills, with different products on each one. Just pile up, they'd pay it because you got to pay it, and that'd be the end of it. But we did our initial assessment, and just by going through that and cleaning everything up, just the cleanup on it, we saved them over I think it was close to $15,000 a year.
I bet.
Just cleaning up what they
Yeah.
have. So,
and then automated it probably, like brought in newer services because so much has changed. They're not noticing day to day. I would think year to year they're probably behind, right?
Yeah, and then we're actually looking at replacing some of the services, and which will have an additional savings of about $12,000 a year. So just by doing this, we're at $25,000-$30,000 in cost savings across the board just by cleanup and making some minor changes to what they have and how it's being delivered. So that's a great solution. It worked out for them. Now we're also looking at ways, because of the requirements of the elementary schools for internet connectivity and Wi-Fi deployments. We're now working with them to look at how to deploy Wi-Fi in a much stronger method, because 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, the requirements for wireless laptops wasn't a part of a curriculum in K through 6.
Right.
Now it is. So their needs and requirements have grown exponentially. So we're helping them map out how to put together a plan to grow as their requirements with the students are growing. We're also looking at ways, one of their requirements, what they're looking to do is how to lower their power consumption.
Oh.
So what does that have to do at all with IT or technology or what we do? Well, after speaking with them, a lot of their machines and a lot of their services stay on at Friday at 3 p.m. all the way through the weekend and then Monday morning. So all this is burning electricity and burning power. So we're looking to present a solution to them that we would manage this equipment and gear and do auto power out, turn everything down at their off hours, just to simply save power consumption.
Wow.
And now we're going through a process to see how much that would save them overall. Now it's also great for a green initiative because
Sure.
less electricity
Yeah.
being used, less carbon footprint,
Of
all the
course.
things that are important.
Yeah.
But we're using the resources that we have internally to figure out how to help them accomplish these goals by making some just simple changes to what they're doing and how they're running their business. And then now we're looking at, there's some new state laws with requirements on when you dial 911 from each room.
I was going to say security and stuff, right?
Security, and then a new law was passed, I believe about 2 or 3 weeks ago for visual alerts in case there's an issue going on in the school. And that's a part of what we're having discussions on how to get them up to speed with the state requirements that are out there right now today, which are new for the schools to be a part of.
I was just reading something about facial recognition in the schools. I don't know where
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I'm talking about as far as what you guys do as experts in these areas that just people are not focusing on because we've got day work to do. And so then all of a sudden what you're explaining, I could just picture it in a lot of the school systems and the hospitals where that they are just attending to their patients and they're not really going back to look at how much they're wasting and how much cost savings is available by having someone come in and analyze it.
It's true. And one of the customers we're working with has a call center that is sensitive in nature because lives depend on the accuracy of the call and the routing. And it's antiquated just because technology changes and there's no AI implemented in it. So there's no smart way of figuring out priority and moving things around and getting the infected person or the person who's upset to the right spot, just to be vague. And so that's, it's nice to have that conversation with a group of smart people who are great in their field, but they have a problem, they have a task that they have to achieve or an obstacle to overcome, and there's so many moving parts that it's like, who do you call? Well, it involves a phone, it involves a computer, it involves a security application. How do we get someone to figure this out for us? Oh, instead of you getting on the phone and dialing up and calling, you have one resource, and that's kind of what we're there for. So imagine you could pick
That
the phone
in
up.
itself says a lot because I'm just sitting there thinking about being on the phone with one of my phone companies and how long you wait and you never get anything solved and you don't even know what you're calling about or how to fix it.
Exactly.
And that is what you do at Safari Solutions. You can take on all my problems and then save me money as well.
Exactly.
So come on and tell me a story of either one of your success stories or one that someone else lost out on by not using your services.
Well, I always like to be positive, so let's go one more success story of a large implementation that we did. Familiar with the Red Bull Stadium?
Yeah.
Which is a great venue for soccer games.
Okay.
So they brought us in, I believe it was 2 years ago, and we helped them design and deploy their entire Wi-Fi radio system in the stadium.
Wow.
So that was pretty fun. So if you ever go to the Red Bull Stadium in Harrison, and everywhere you see a radio or you get Wi-Fi connectivity, we were the company that helped design it. We deployed it, and we also manage it now moving forward. So at every time there's a game, there's somebody at our office who's actually monitoring, seeing how many radios are up, making sure that the throughput is where it's supposed to be, making sure that what's happening is supposed to be happening the right way. And of course, I go to a game last year. I'm in the stands with my family, and I say, "Hey, look, guys, we did all the Wi-Fi here. Look." And of course, there was a problem.
Oh.
But what was
you were there to fix it.
What was kind of fun about it was, so I saw it, and I didn't think anybody else, because I'm kind of a nerd, and I was doing stuff on my phone to see what the issue was. I was able to send a note to my support team, hey, there's an issue at the stadium. They wrote back, what seat are you in? So I was able to tell them the seat that I was in, the section I was in, and from that information, they're able to find my phone because I was able to give them the IP address of the phone that I was using, and they're able to see what the issue was from a remote office.
Wow.
And they're able to reset the radio at that point to get that one radio out of the 200 and change that are up there working the right way. So
That is impressive.
so it was kind of cool to go through, to actually see a problem
Yeah.
and be able to do a couple of hits and get that, to have the intelligence to be able to, our organization to go out there and make the adjustments when necessary for that. So that was a nice win. We continue to support them. They're a great great organization, great venue to see games. I recommend anybody who's out there to go to a Red Bulls game because it's really, my kids now love going, so I get to go all the time now.
No, well, that's nice.
Which is fun.
One of the perks.
Right. And it's you said companies who maybe have not taken advantage of it. I think a lot of times it's such a new and interesting way of going through this because most companies, if you look at the history of how people have bought almost anything, they interview 3 vendors, they get proposals, they review it, and they make a decision sometimes based on a gut, based on a
Price.
a nice feel, sometimes on price. This one's really cheap, this one's really expensive. The middle one must be right. A lot of times we'll go through that process and help write that RFP, help bring all the proposals in, and we review it with the client in the room, and we pull it apart. Makes sense, doesn't make sense, they missed that, that's why this is this way. But we've seen these dozens and dozens and dozens of times. So that gives us that level of expertise and knowledge that they probably don't have. And for the clients who haven't taken advantage of it, I believe they just think that, maybe one possible issue is, well, if I hire them to do it, then I don't need to be here. And that's not the case at all. We never go in there to displace anybody. It's to help augment what they do, I think what Jonathan was saying before, and give them the tools and the knowledge to be really great at what they do.
Right.
It's like hiring a coach.
Yeah.
We're in there. We can coach you through everything that you want. Use our expertise. Use our knowledge. But listen, and things will go really, really well. And when it happens, like I said, it's a real great relationship because they listen to us. We listen to them. They know we're in their corner. And if something doesn't go right, we're there fighting with them as much as we can to get things fixed whenever we can. Because surprisingly, in the world of technology, things break.
And that's really where the transparency piece comes in, because if you can articulate that to the customer and you have that mutual understanding, then they realize, okay, there's a large institution that will remain nameless that wanted to implement a specific system, and they were writing out the RFQ as if I said to you, I want a car, I want it to have 4 wheels, a steering wheel. You're looking at this in the profession, saying, of course it's going to have all that, but you're missing all these other things, and then we haven't even sat in a room and discussed what are your needs and what are the current systems that are available that can really meet your needs. You can work remote, right? You have video conferencing. You could text now through these apps. You could fax if people still do that. You could, all these different things. So you're looking at the individual and you're trying to explain to him that the advantage for this relationship is that I'm going to take all the hard work from you. I'm going to create the RFQ. I'm going to send it out to the vendors. And then you and I are going to sit together and we're going to go over it. And now you're going to be able to see what the pricing is. So there's nothing to be hidden and there's nothing to be worried about. And I just helped you. Now go do your job. Go do what your main job is, because you don't want a second or third job. And that's the value that we bring, and that's what's the obstacle to overcome, because people aren't used to that. There are organizations that are growing exponentially. They're either acquiring other companies. A lot of insurance companies are consolidating. Hospitals are consolidating. So extra work gets put on the guy's table. He's already doing a full-time job. It's like, Johnson, by the way, we're opening up 3 new. Can you set that whole system? How is that possible?
And they may have existing on the the ones
Different
that are
infrastructure.
integrating. They're all different. Thinking of someone who represents themselves in court.
Exactly. They can do it, but
You
and they
can
may
do
even
it,
win.
but you need to get an attorney like
That's a
you
great
guys.
example.
No, we've been talking about this today, playing games, I guess, trying to figure out what it was. Wedding planner.
Yes.
I think it's an attorney.
Orchestra conductor.
Yeah. Oh, orchestra conductor. That was a good one. That was yours, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take the credit for
Yeah,
that one if you
all
like
right.
it. If you didn't like it, it's Jonathan.
No, it's great. It's great. I'm Jeanne Murphy. This is Talented People. I hope you're having a great day. My guests, again, are Safari Solutions, the Vice President of Sales, Scott Kushel, and Jonathan Etier.
Etier, that's right. No S.
I got it. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching in. Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, host of Talented People Radio, produced by Mariah Media. Our show is fun, and we specialize on interviewing some of the most awesome people from around the world. Tune in and watch our live stream on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch past episodes. Talented People airs every Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Join us for some fun.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people are affected by mental illness? NAMI Hunterdon is the locally affiliate for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are all volunteers, and all our programs are free of charge. We offer Family to Family, a 12-week course for families that have an adult member with a mental illness. Another popular program is In Our Own Voice, where individuals who are living with mental illness discuss their challenges and their progress in overcoming those challenges. Another course we offer is Basics, a 6-week course for families with a child or an adolescent who has experienced mental illness. We also have a monthly support group for families on the third Thursday of every month. Please call NAMI Hunterdon at 908-284-0500 for more information about any of our programs or to join. NAMI Hunterdon, the voice for mental health in Hunterdon County.
You're listening to WHCR-DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Are you struggling to find the right person to stay in that critical role in your company? Trying to attract and retain millennials? Regional Personnel is your staffing solution. Located in Lebanon, New Jersey, Regional Personnel is an ASA-certified, privately held staffing and recruiting firm providing you with everything from temporary to permanent employees. As ASA-certified professionals, we employ the latest tools and techniques to find, screen, and present to you the best talent that fits your needs. The result? Access to top talent in the shortest time with the lowest chance of turnover. We guarantee it. So call Regional today at 908-534-8113 or visit us on the web at regionalpersonnel.com.
Everybody over there, get on up. Everybody right there, get into it. Everybody right there, get involved. Everybody get.
Did you know the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce has over 20 active committees that you can participate in? Committees range from focus on business and government to economic development to events like our annual Business Expo. Contact the Chamber for more information today at 908-782-7115 or email us at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. The Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
A college education, you don't have to go into debt before you even begin.
The actual price of a college education today could cost more than $200,000. Even if you don't qualify for financial need-based assistance, Premier College Funding can help you and your family cut college costs and find efficient ways to pay for college.
Call 908-788-3799 for a free consultation or visit us online at premiercollegefundingllc.com. Getting a college degree doesn't have to break the bank.
Oh my God, having so much fun in here today. I'm Jeanne Murphy, this is Talented People. Thanks so much for watching. And we have colleagues here, members of the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce. Their company is called Safari Solutions. And I have Scott Kushel, he's the Vice President of Sales, and Jonathan Etier. He's in our Connects group. Anyways, we're here connecting, and we're talking about Safari Solutions and how you guys are really this wedding planner. Symphony was it instructor?
Conductor.
Maestro. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the IT world. And so you were just going to tell us a little bit about some of the myths and stuff that's out there that people are confused by.
Yeah, we can try, not make up too much stuff. But probably the thing that I think companies are, when they're looking at for an advisor, somebody to help, is that they're breaking down the barriers and the walls, but what's going on in the industry today? Where are things moving? AI, artificial intelligence, is becoming a buzzword. Internet of Things, IoT, is being spoken about quite a bit, and it becomes these just buzzwords that people hear it and they think they should know a lot about it, but when you read it, when you look it up online, it goes in 1,000 different directions. When looking at artificial intelligence, it's not robots. Well, it could be robots, but we're not talking about robots here today. It's actually utilizing algorithms and utilizing technology to simply maybe route calls in the right direction and get the right person to answer the call. If you've use a lot of call centers, and as you use them now, you can actually speak what you're looking to do. When you get that weird response, tell us what you're looking to do. Speak to a human, not an option.
It's not an option.
Not an option anymore.
Pay my bill.
Right, pay my bill. And that's all done through a lot of what they call artificial intelligence.
Really?
Being able to understand like when you talk to your phone, your iPhone or your Android, or if you're at home and you talk to Google or you talk to your Echo or whatever it is, a lot of that is learning. It's learning. And if you ever used, we'll go with for the home, like I know with my Echo, if I say something, it says, I'm still learning. Sorry, I don't know what you want.
It's so wild.
It's going to happen
so wild, creepy it is, yeah.
It is. So imagine walking into a conference room, and instead of fumbling through to try to get a conference call going, you just simply say, hey, it's Scott. I'm here for my 2 o'clock conference call. Can you please start it? And the system will be smart enough to say, oh, yeah, I see it's in the calendar, and I will start your call from here, or in video conference from here. So video conferencing, unified communications, all these different things to make the business world run more efficiently, more effectively. That's probably the thing that people are looking for, is really how to use it. How to use this technology, and how to have somebody come in here explain what it could be, how it can be used, and how do I get my employees to grasp it. So we're using video right now, but how are corporations using that today? Video's been around for years. But I think now today companies are seeing it as a value. Like, how do I communicate with all the people that work from home? We had those tremendous snowstorms. I think we had, 1.5 inches of snow last week?
State of emergency.
Yeah.
Another state of emergency. Right. So every flurry now.
I think it's a PR move on behalf of the grocery stores. That's all I can say.
That could be. That's a great way.
I thought it was big salt. They're just trying to
Yeah.
dump as much salt as
It's something like that. There's something going on.
Right. So you did mention snow flurries, so that we should shut down the state probably soon and get home.
Yeah.
Because there could be a dusting tonight. So even how to use that and communicate with people that work from home now. That used to be a big myth of how in the world is that going to work? But everybody takes their laptops or their machines and they go home and they turn it on, as long as you have internet access in your home. Now, we're in New Jersey, so most internet's pretty easy to get your hands on in this state. Not everywhere it's that easy, but once you get it, like one of the stories I tell, once we get a company up and running and they're using the cloud, the magic word of the cloud, which is a bunch of computers and hardware, but that's okay. If you can go to the International Space Station and you can get to your stuff, you don't have to be on the Earth anymore. So that's kind of cool where you think about it.
What?
Well, all you need is internet access.
Yeah.
And there's internet access on the International Space Station.
That goes back to when I had my business and we had a server room and we had to keep it cold and we had to keep it upgraded and we took tapes home and no one told me there's a better way to do this.
Oh my.
And so even if you have a small business and you're saying cloud, what are cloud services? What does this mean to me? It was a significant savings because we had to upgrade all that system every year, $50,000 to $100,000, and no one was there pointing it out. And, the IT guys made their money. They didn't really have any incentive to tell me there was a better option.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't ask because I just, when you're looking at IT, sometimes you're just like, as long as it's working, I'm happy.
Well, most people are like that,
Yeah.
and it's very true. I was thinking when you talk about having that special room that you used to have to go in for your, what was it called again? Because servers?
Yeah, the servers.
And then the server would go down?
Yes.
And then you have to pay people to come out and do all the stuff
Yes.
that you don't even have anything to do with anymore. But you don't even know about it if you don't know about it. It's the same thing with my business partner, Kelly. She knows everything. I mean, she knows as much as anybody who could possibly know anything about apps.
Right.
She stays ahead of it. I don't even know how. I'm like
exhausting.
6 years behind, huh?
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting, but you guys are the people who do that in the tech world for all the different types. I'm very interested in what you were talking about with artificial intelligence and stuff, because in the applications towards the businesses, and they don't know what they don't know.
I order from Panettari's Pizza, right? They call me, they know my phone number, they know my address, they know my name, they know what we order. And that's part of AI. That's a very simple form, but it's a better customer experience for me because I feel like they know me, even though I know what they're doing.
Oh my, that's scary. I love it, but
we
it's
have your
scary.
credit card online.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, there's all these different applications and that can increase your efficiency and your customer experience.
Yeah, that you don't even know exist. That's what I love about when we started off this conversation. You were talking about the different customers that you have, that you can actually have one customer that's doing something really cool that applies to someone else that you have that doesn't even have a clue that that's out there, and that's what you guys do. Really.
Yeah, we cross-pollinate the information and we share it, and that's a big piece of the puzzle as well, is sharing that information, being open. The transparency that we bring to the table is we're not here to hide anything. Again, it would be like going to your doctor and saying, hey, I'm sick. And the doctor says to you, okay, what's wrong? Yeah, I'm not going to figure it out. You're the doctor. we try to act that way, ask 100 questions, what the issues are, and that's probably the biggest thing that we want to do. Listen, understand, and really help to design a solution that's going to make your organization stronger and better
And
tomorrow.
so reasonably, because like $9.95, is that what you said a month? Is the,
Yeah, for 100 employees.
and for 100 employees? I mean, I have to believe that you would pay for yourself within the first day, just to like consulting, just to tell me what I don't know and how to put it all together, especially like with the consolidation, like you're talking about with other companies
Right.
being integrated into it, where that each one's got theirs, they think is the best.
Right.
And then there's probably so much duplication.
Multiple contracts, multiple carriers, multiple equipment, and so that all needs to be integrated. And
So tell everybody how to get hold of you guys.
hey, give me a call. Yeah, well, so I'm part of the chamber. So Jonathan is here at Safari Solutions. Feel free to go to the chamber website. I don't have my business card on me, so that's
okay.
That's me. Do you have it?
Yeah, well, your website is safari-solutions.com.
That's correct. Yep.
And again, I do always say it's easy to go through the chamber. If you're
Yeah.
watching the show, you can contact the 100 Chamber and they'll be in touch with anybody, if it's Scott or Jonathan, within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
And then our main number is 201-934-7400. And you can reach Jonathan or myself or anybody in the sales team that can help you out, or our service group if you just want to talk to anybody. Or if you have nobody to talk to, you just need somebody to talk
Yeah,
to.
stop by my house. I'm right on Craig Road.
Just give us a call. That's fine, too. We're happy to have people stop by.
that's so funny.
Yeah, like I said, we're up in Riverdale, so not too far from here. But like I said, we cover most of the state of New Jersey. We actually we're nationwide. So we have clients Florida, New Jersey, New York. But our biggest focus is the New York metropolitan area, from basically the northern part of the state is most of the areas where we work with our clients. But
Great. All right, well, that's the end of our show already. It's 3:55. I want you to say thank you guys for being
Thank you
here
for
today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Hope you learned a lot. Thanks for watching in. I'm Jeanne Murphy, the Talented People. And don't forget to check out our new show on Wednesday mornings at 11. I love New Jersey. Location, location, location. I'm a Wykert real estate agent. And if you're buying or selling, get in touch with me. Otherwise, have a great day.
You're listening to HunterdonChamberRadio.com, sponsored by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce. Our studios are located at the historic Large House, 119 Main Street,